Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Home Sweet Healthy Homes podcast, where we explore Quincy, its programs, and smarter, healthier living, starting right at home. I'm your host, Jane, and today I'm joined by Rhiannon Gorham, Assistant Planner and Public Services / Economic Development Extraordinaire for the Community Development Department. She's here this month to talk about a brand new program for businesses here in Quincy, Initiative for a Competitive Inner City, or ICIC's Small Business Program. Welcome, Rhiannon, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jane.
Well, I do want to dive right in, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about all of your success with CD Week and the big launch of this program. How do you think it all went?
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. Like you mentioned, it was a week long, so a lot of events. Two of our highlighting events were, one, the launch of this program that we're talking about today, kind of in conjunction with Quincy College, which was really nice. And then we had some other events throughout the week highlighting the different public service, economic development, and infrastructure projects that we have throughout the city.
It was such a great week, and Rhiannon's being modest. She really did a wonderful job planning it, and so many people came out, and it was just such a great way to experience, the community and show the community our projects.
Yeah, it was good. We had a lot of folks from the city, a lot of our local elected officials and our state reps, so I think it was really nice for everyone to kind of see what goes on throughout the city, especially using the federal funds that we get to kind of highlight those projects.
Definitely. But I do think the sort of crowning moment was the announcement of this program. It felt like sort of the big event. So, I'm certainly even more excited now that I've, watched the presentation and everything to have it here in Quincy. But let's chat a little bit more about it. For those who might not be familiar or weren't at the event, what is ICIC and what is a small business program bringing to Quincy?
Sure. Yeah, so as you mentioned, Jane, we kind of launched it or announced it at one of our CD Week events last week. So it's Initiative for a Competitive Inner City. It's a nonprofit economic development small business program that's kind of already being run in a few different cities throughout the country. And then here in Boston, it's been running for a few years now. The CEO and president of ICIC, some people might recognize the name as former Massachusetts State Treasurer Steve Grossman. So he is kind of at the helm of this program, and it really is just a program for small business owners in different cities that have a good portion of low to moderate income business owners that are looking to scale up or access capital they wouldn't otherwise be able to access. And it is just a program that kind of allows them self-paced to go through different business trainings and technical trainings that they might not have otherwise had. It gives them the chance to focus on things that they really need. So if you are a business owner that really maybe needs help on the finance side, then you could kind of focus in on that. If you're someone that needs more help with social media and marketing, it allows you to focus a little bit more on that. We announced it during CD Week because they are our newest economic development partner. So the city, through funding that we get through the federal government, is helping to sponsor this program in conjunction with our other economic development partner, Quincy College. So when the program officially launches in June, it will be held, the first 2 days of the program will be held at Quincy College as kind of the sponsoring physical location. And then the rest of the program is fully online about 3.5 months or so.
That's awesome. And that was a lot of information.
Yeah.
But you're clearly the expert here. I think anybody listening to this is already, if they're a business owner, they're probably excited. It's always just great to have access to new opportunities and new resources. But tell me, who exactly is eligible for the program?
Yeah.
Is it really just small businesses? Do they have to be low income? Is it just for Quincy? Just tell me a little bit more.
Those are all good questions. Luckily with this program, they are definitely have some wiggle room, some flexibility. They want anyone, obviously, that wants to take advantage of it to be able to. It is really meant for small businesses. I'd say that's probably the one thing that they're probably going to be a little bit of a stickler about. They define a small business as a business that has under 50 employees. So this just wouldn't be something that's eligible to maybe like the Dunkin' Donuts and the Stop and Shops kind of out there in Quincy. So this is really meant for small businesses, family-owned businesses, if you're already in Quincy, you're already operating in a city that has a large amount of moderate to low income population. So even if just for being in Quincy, you qualify. But the program is not strictly for Quincy small businesses. This launch will include the South Shore as well. So the focus is for the small businesses in the city of Quincy, but if you're a small business in Weymouth or Braintree or really anywhere else on the South Shore, then we would love to have those businesses apply too. There are some other kind of requirements that the individual, her name is Indy, who's great, that kind of runs and coordinates this program that we'll go through, but I just would encourage anyone that's interested, as long as you're a small business owner, to at least reach out and they'll kind of work with you to get you into the program.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And it's nice that, like you're naming names, like this seems very, even though I know from going to the presentation, it's remote.
Yes. Yeah.
It does feel like, it's sort of the best of both worlds. Like you do get the flexibility of doing it at your own pace, completing all the modules when you want to, but at the same time, like you're naming names, there are networking things, there's this other component that you're really showing too, which is cool.
And it is really kind of to your point too, there are we kind of, I guess in a beta testing, myself and Maureen Geary, our economic development director here for the city, had went to the last Boston cohort just to the first day to kind of see if this was something that we thought the city would be interested in doing, and we invited some small Quincy business owners to go with us and to do the Boston cohort, again just to kind of see if, as a Quincy business owner, did they think it worked for them, did they think it would work for other Quincy business owners. So we had there was a handful of them, but off the top of my head I know we had Jay from Break Rock Brewery over in Marina Bay. We had Bunker Hill Moving join us. We had Karen from Karen's Corner. So there were a handful of small business owners that did participate in the Boston cohort and kind of gave us feedback, which was really nice. The feedback was obviously good, which is why we are doing it here now in Quincy. Boston does theirs from Roxbury Community College. And again, to your point, Jane, the mix of in-person and virtual is really nice. Those first 2 days of the program will be at Quincy College, similar to if you attended college, to what kind of like a seminar would be like. They bring in different instructors from throughout the country to come in and talk about different kind of topics. So just from the experience when I went to the Boston one, they had instructors from Ohio State that were coming in and talking about using AI in your business. They had one that was specific about Facebook and social media, Instagram, which was really interesting for me. I didn't understand all the kind of logistics. Like most people look at posts at 9 a.m. and between the ages of this and this, they look at them at 6 p.m. So all that kind of stuff, I guess, that you don't really think of until you're kind of in the business world. And then you are obviously making those connections with other business owners. In this case, it will be throughout the South Shore, Quincy, and then certain neighborhoods in Boston as well. And then, like you mentioned, the rest of it's fully online. So you do get that in person and that online mix. The last day of the course, they do like a nice formal like closeout ceremony. So you'll get like a certificate of completion. And it's just a nice way for you to kind of network again with some of the instructors that you had and some of those other business connections that you've made.
That's awesome. I mean, and you named so many things just now, so I'm going to try and summarize them a little bit. Yep. But I guess my next question is, what is a business actually receiving? And what I heard was coaching. I heard about technical assistance. I think that AI piece is incredible. So many businesses are interested, but, with small businesses, it is hard to take on learning those new skills and whatever, and what pathways do you have to do that? So it's really cool that this program is giving our small businesses access to that, those resources. So I know you named a few. Is there anything else that we should, as if I were a small business owner, that small business owners should know about? Is there any additional access to funding, or is it really the networking and the technical assistance? What's the real benefit that they're going to see?
So that's a really good question. The thing that I like most about this program, which I think is huge, especially for the business owners specifically, is that if you're a small business owner that you are probably just too busy to maybe add another thing onto your plate, if you have someone that manages your day-to-day operations, a director, an assistant manager, those people are eligible for this program as well. So if you're a business owner, and again, you just don't have the time, but you maybe have someone that works full-time for you that is able to make significant decisions for your business, that person can do it on behalf of your business as well. So I think that's really nice too. It doesn't necessarily have to be the business owner. And then kind of what are the benefits for the business? So it's a few different things. Like we mentioned the technical assistance, the kind of specific training like AI, marketing, that kind of stuff. The good thing about this Quincy cohort, and I think they've done some other Boston cohorts as well, is that you have institutions like M&T Bank that are co-sponsors of this program too.
That's great.
So those are the kind of things that gives you access to capital funding opportunities, grants, that kind of thing. So I believe there's some other large banks that are partners with the Boston cohorts, and that can change each cohort. I think we're going to run them a few times a year. So they do introduce you to people that work in those kind of larger financial institutions that you probably wouldn't be able to meet, that are sponsors and instructors in these programs as well. So I'd say that's probably the biggest benefit, is that kind of access to being able to apply and receive capital you might not have otherwise. And then the networking and the partnership. So I go back to that instructor that we met at the Boston cohort. I wish I could remember his name, but again, from Ohio State, and he is one of the directors for the business program out there. And even after he got up and gave his just 2-hour long talk, he was giving his business card, his email out to all the businesses that were in the room, offering to follow up by email if they had questions on his presentation. So again, just things like that, access to experts that you probably otherwise wouldn't have access to if you had specific business questions. I believe that they do keep access. So even after you complete the program and you get your completion of certificate, you do still have almost like portal access. So if in a year from now you thought, oh, well, there was someone in my cohort that, I don't know, owned a party planning company and my business is having their 10th year anniversary, I would love to use them to help plan my party. So different kind of networking like that, you have access to then go in and contact that person that was in your cohort with you. So that kind of continuation of the program is really nice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about a lot of different things, and it seems like there are so many benefits, but just to keep this, realistic, what does the time commitment look like? You were talking a little bit about how maybe an owner wouldn't have time. Mm-hmm. And yes, there is a lot of flexibility, but let's lay it out there. What is that time commitment?
So this program is really good, and I think, again, different from some other programs that we've done here in the city or that have been offered, where they're never going to force you to be online at a specific time or say you have to do 2 hours of work, Tuesday, or you have to, physically be here all of these days. It's nice that it doesn't operate like that. The only kind of specific time requirements are that they do ask you to be there for those first 2 days for the in-person session, but you are told in advance. And again, you can send someone else in your place. You can pop out if you need to go take a meeting. You can pop back in. We'll be right here in Quincy Center, so very convenient. And the online portion is all self-paced, so it's just if you have, extra time on a Saturday night, you can pop in and do a few hours of work then. I don't believe there are specific due dates for things, and like I said, you don't have to be in at a certain time. It's self-paced, and you can focus more on what is important for you. And the program is about 3.5 months long, and again, there's no real specific time commitment, which is nice. And
that
you have
is
a
really
coach
nice.
that works for the program that's in contact with you, will email you, will work with you if there's something going on. So they do have that kind of support too, similar to like if you were in school and needed like an academic advisor. So it's nice that they have that too.
That is really nice. Yeah. So this is all self-paced. That sounds great. You said that there was a closing ceremony. Does it all have to be done within 6 months, within a year? How does you complete it?
The program is built within that the 3.5 months. I'm not sure of the exact timeline when you meet with like the coach to decide if you're going to do the program or not. They'll give you all that like specific information. But yeah, okay. I think the way that it kind of works is you have like a certain amount of like modules or information to complete within that 3.5 month time period. But however long it takes you to get there, and that it's kind of up to you. So again, I guess there's like the timeline in that kind of 3.5 months, but if you want to do it all in a week, you can do it in a week. If you want to space it out throughout the month, but
choose your own adventure.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's great. Okay, so let's say someone's listening right now. They're interested in the program. They either own a business or maybe they're, the GM of a business. What are the first steps? And and where do they need to go to sign up? And is there a deadline for this first round?
Yeah, so we don't have a strict set deadline right now. The first day, they have to be nominated and approved and registered and all that stuff by June 24th. That is the first day. That's the first in-person session. So that starts our first upcoming cohort. And anyone that's interested can reach out to me directly, Rhiannon, and I think we can put my contact info in the notes of the show here.
Absolutely.
I'm in the Planning and Community Development office. You can always give me a call or email me. You can just reach out to me directly, and then we're happy to get you in contact with the woman that organizes or is the coordinator for this program. And then some of you will also you might get an email from myself or from Maureen Geary nominating you. We do keep a nice list of small businesses here in Quincy, so don't be surprised if you get an email directly from myself or from Maureen about it. We're going to try to get as many of the Quincy small businesses that we have and be a little bit proactive about emailing them. So if you see something from us and you're interested, respond back that way. We're happy to get you enrolled. But if you don't get anything from us, please reach out to us.
That's awesome. And just to be clear, there's no cost to these?
No cost. No, completely free of cost. Yep.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I think it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, it really is great. And there are so many really nice success stories. If you go on to the ICIC website, it's just icic.org. And there's like a whole success story, alumni success story, a lot of Boston businesses that you'll probably recognize. So if you wanted to see some of those videos or kind of information about what some of the other businesses have gotten out of it, just a nice place to kind of start before you decide, I guess, if you want to apply.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I mean, you gave so much information. I think you're clearly an expert on this program. But is there anything I didn't ask you or anything else you want to share with our listeners?
No, I think that was pretty much the gist of it. Again, just kind of encourage people to go on the website. We're putting up some information about it on our Planning and Community Development Facebook on Monday. So if you follow us, go ahead, or don't follow us, go ahead and follow us, and that will be up on our social media as well. And I think it's just a really great opportunity to kind of scale any of the local small businesses in the city too. So we'd love to it is open to everyone on the South Shore, but I think we'd selfishly love to kind of fill it with Quincy businesses first. So have any friends or family that have small businesses in Quincy, we'd really love to get them in for the 24th.
Absolutely. Well, Rhiannon, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited about this new program and how much, it's definitely going to help the Quincy small businesses. And thank you to all of our listeners who tuned in this month. If you have any questions or topics that you'd like us to cover, please reach out. As always, I will put my info in the show notes, and this time I will also include a link to apply to the program and Rhiannon's contact information in case you have any questions. Thanks again, Rhiannon.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, listeners. If you're looking for more of the Office of Healthy Homes, come visit us in the office or out and about in the community. We'll be out tabling at the Kennedy Center, QCAP for their first-time homebuyer workshop, and so much more. I'll include all the details for our upcoming events in the show notes, and of course, our next podcast drops on 27th. Until next month, we're wishing you a happier and healthier home. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.